supported this cause. Jazakumullah khair.
All right. جزاكم الله خيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اجعلنا منهم. First of all, welcome everyone to this evening, inshallah, a very blessed evening with our dear teacher, Ustad Fadel Soliman. As Akhi Muhammad mentioned, he is in tour in Canada, maybe a mini tour, inshallah, just arriving today, maybe yesterday, even from the MAC convention that just concluded in Toronto. The topic, inshallah, Azza wa Jal, will be about tackling atheism. Now, you know, Brother Mahmoud Jum'ah here, he set up a very good example for everyone. He has an account in Bridges Foundation. So if you are not aware of Bridges Foundation, this is the institution that Ustad Fadel Soliman leads out of the UK. tackles very, very important topics such as atheism and other issues of importance, especially to our youth in the West. And so I'm sure he will encourage you to do so, to get an account on the website. But I will also encourage you a pre-session, inshallah azza wa jal. Now, in the way of introduction, Al-Ustad Fadel Soliman is a member of the International Union of Muslim Scholars. By training, he is an electronics engineer. He is an international speaker, orator, filmmaker, and presenter of Islam. He's lectured in many different venues globally. He's debated in churches and in synagogues and in different occasions. As I mentioned, he is the founder of the Bridges Foundation, and he has actually introduced a 3-part documentary called The Fog is Lifting about Islam. And I'm sure if you get a membership on the website, you will get access to it. He is here today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. So today he is here at the OMA. Jazakumullah khairan for the management. So the OMA, MAC, and the SNMC are arranging a program for him, inshallah, over the coming 3 nights. Make sure you catch all of them. Tomorrow night at the MAC Community Center, or what you know as the Abrar School on Grennan Avenue, and then Wednesday night at the SNMC in Barhaven, inshallah. Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., pardon me. Did it change or I misread it? It doesn't. Alhamdulillah. Finally, I just want to introduce you to the masjid that you're in, actually. So this masjid is the first masjid that was built in Ottawa, approaching 50 years. So it was built in 1977. So inshallah, 5 more years, it will be 50 years old.
By the Red Indians?
Afwan?
By the Red Indians?
We call them aboriginals.
Sorry.
The masjid, as you can see where this arc is, it used to be up to that wall. And then when the community grew, it was expanded as well. And now the city, wherever you go, every corner of the city, alhamdulillah, there's a masjid or a musalla. So welcome. We, as I mentioned, the topic is tackling atheism. And subhanAllah, what a better time, what a coincidental best time to talk about it, that we are in the days of Hajj, which is the proclamation of Tawheed and the celebration of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so it's a blessing to be talking about this topic today. The floor is yours for, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes, and then we will open it to discussion. And then however you'd like to take it, with questions, answers, we will go, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Bismillah.
Jazakum Allahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah. All praises are due to Allah, the creator, the cherisher, and the sustainer of this universe. And may his peace and blessings be upon his noble prophet Muhammad and his descendants and his companions and his followers, the respected followers of Prophet Muhammad in Ottawa. Jazakumullah khairan for the invite. As he said, I came across the sea, but I'm not swimming. But I could have came swimming if I saw these beautiful faces before. So I could have come, and next time I come swimming, inshallah. Actually, I was a swimmer in Egypt, by the way. For 15 years, I was one of the champions of Egypt in swimming. Not the best one, yani, but anyway. Talking about atheism, this is a topic that we can spend days talking about. But I'll tell you something that is a shubha that I had for several years. The Quran is the book of Allah, and it is inclusive. It tackled everything. I was always troubled. How come the Quran doesn't talk about atheism with the meaning that exists today, which is, because the word ilhad in Arabic language means deviation. Any deviation is ilhad. But rejecting the existence of God is not in the Quran. In the Quran, rejecting al-ba'th, but not resurrection, but not the existence of God himself. SubhanAllah, how? Yeah, the answer was always that because there was no atheist at that time. Yeah, okay, but the Quran is the book for every era, and it should have tackled it. And then I read a book lately called Hating God, the untold story of mesotheism. And in this book, the researcher said that what really exists is not atheism, is not rejecting God, is not denying that God exists. it's hating God. But people don't like to be called haters. So they say, okay, we reject him. We don't think he exists. But when you discuss more, how come he sends people to hellfire? Okay, then he exists. Then you think he exists, but you hate what he does. This in itself means that you believe that he exists more than anyone, but you don't like his attribute. How come there is all this evil in this world? How come there is children cancer? Don't tell me they smoked and they brought it to themselves. They did not. Aha. All this is about his attributes. Is he Rahim or not? But it's not about does he exist or not. And then I found that the Quran tackled it several times, the phenomenon of people hating God. For example, in Surah Al-Mu'minun, أم يقولون به جنة بل جاءهم بالحق ولكن أكثرهم للحق كارهون. They say that he, the Prophet, had a little bit of craziness. No, he just came to them with the truth, but most of them hate the truth. Here someone can say, hey, al-haq here, truth means al-haqiqah. Just the truth doesn't mean al-haq, which is the name of God. No, it means the name of God. Continue reading. وَلَوْ اتَّبَعَ الْحَقُّ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ لَفَسَدَتِ السَّمَوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ. And had the truth followed their whims, the samawat and the ard, the heavens and the earth could have been gone corrupted. So it means here they hated God. The ayat talks about people who hate God. Not hating the truth, which means just the truth as a value. No, God himself. And over the last 25 years or more, I've been sitting with people who left the religion, discussing with them, counseling with them. And because of that, I have a big list of root causes that caused atheism. And I found that most of these root causes could have been avoided with a little bit of tarbiyah and education in childhood. Just some values and principles and logical arguments that if they were in the heart and mind of the child, he or she could have never become atheist later on. And then 4 years ago, we had some collaboration with some organizations who are also involved in the same area, like Yaqeen Institute, Ayera, and others, some individuals like Dr. Ahmed Galal, like Dr. Nidal Qassoum, like many people. And they came to London, actually. And we spent a weekend in London all together without mobiles. And we shared information. Before they leave London from Heathrow Airport, I felt like I have a treasure. Yes, because they added to my list of root causes. I nearly have every single root cause of atheism now. That's a treasure. It's good. Now, let's deal with it. So, we in Bridges Foundation took the decision to immediately make a committee, emergency committee, that included among its members child psychiatrists, educators, maybe the best educators in the Muslim world, and myself, and Ahmed Galal, and others. And we brainstormed together every single root cause until we found the vaccine that deals with this root cause. What exactly is the principles or the values that if we can engrave them in the heart and mind of a child, he would never ever become atheist because of that root cause in any later stage of life. And that was good, alhamdulillah. Now, the biggest challenge is how to deliver this to children. 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. How can I deliver this to them? Just lecturing them? Should I make like videos for them? Are they going to watch me? Maybe their parents, some of them watch me, but the children don't know me, don't like that. I don't look attractive for them. I look like Santa Claus, but without bringing any gifts or presents out. So actually, I colored my hair, trying to look younger. And it was so funny, you can't imagine, looking like an old man who wants to propose to a teenage girl. So he's trying to look younger. It was funny. So of course, this video, I would never dare to put it on anything. I think I burned it or something. So I burned the computer that had it. So I started to give it in a one-to-one workshops with children. In one of these workshops in a city called Bristol in the UK, the organizer, it had 100 children. It's a one-day workshop with lunch break and 2 cocoa breaks. Not coffee breaks, with children's cocoa breaks. And the organizer came and told me, there's a boy among these kids whom his parents are Egyptian. He's born here in the UK, but he speaks good, also Arabic, Egyptian dialect. And he speaks, of course, perfect English. And he loves you very much. He knows by heart every single episode of yours among the Zikra wa Ibra episodes. And even the Islamophobia episodes, he knows them all by heart, Arabic and English. Those like 60 episodes in Arabic, 60 episodes in English, dealing with misconceptions about Islam. He knows them all by heart and he can imitate you. I got the idea. I said, I want to see that boy. So I had lunch with him and his father and his younger brother, and that was it. He and his brother are going to deliver the message to the children. And we filmed. I'm not going to tell you now how we filmed this because it was difficult to train children to speak about certain concepts and principles. It was impossible because they must understand every single word they say so that when they say it in a tone that from their heart, not just someone saying something that he just memorized. And it was hard, but I found a way. And then last year, 2 reverends from the Church of England called me and they said, we actually are among the subscribers to your games. We were checking them and we loved the idea, but there is something that we couldn't find how you did it. It is, can you give us the know-how? How you trained children to say these things with understanding like that? How did you train them? That's impossible. And then I give them the know-how. Why I give them the know-how? Because, I would rather have our children live among Christian children than atheists. Believe me. There is cancer and there is influenza. Influenza can be treated easily. Cancer, difficult. So I told them how I did that. And I tell you now how I did that. These children are good in imitating. Good. Look to the camera and say after me this sentence exactly with the same tone. And if I don't like his tone, I make him repeat it again and again and again until I get the sentence with the tone I want. And then editing, bring the child all together. The boy is speaking in a way he really understands. Actually, it's me speaking through him. 30 videos like that. Okay. Who said that your children, 7-year-old child, will really watch 30 videos like that? Maybe he won't. He's not interested in that. He doesn't even know what that is about. Why is he watching this? So we put these videos inside games. So the boy is playing a game, and after a certain level, the video pops up. He watches the video. What if your child is not attentive enough during the video? He's not going to grab the principles that we want to put in his heart and mind. After every video, there are 4 or 5 questions that he answers, multiple choice questions. So if he does not grab the principles that we want from the video, he will grab them from the questions and answers. The first game we made is called After the Match. After the Match is a game that has 15, I think, videos. And it deals with the biggest root causes that cause atheism. One of them is, or the biggest, is actually the dilemma of evil. How can there be a God with all this evil in this world? And in this game, we got feedback from parents who told us sometimes the children are not attentive, and when it comes to the questions and answers, they just answer haphazardly because they want to move to the next level and continue playing. This is actually a penalty shootout. The boy enters, and then he chooses one of the teams of the World Cup here. Here, for example, any of our games, when you enter, you find 2 choices, either an interactive course or a panel or the game. So if you choose the game, you will play the game like that. But if you choose the interactive course, this is a setup that we made for schools, because there are 7 schools all over the world whom among the curriculum is our games in their curriculum. Actually, an international school in Lebanon, actually, called Al Hayah International School, an elite school in Turkey, a school in Hong Kong also, and so on. Anyway, so in the school, the teacher just plays a video, and then he discusses them with the class, and then they discuss the questions and answers together. And then the kids go back home and they play against each other. Every one of the kids has his own account and he plays. So, for example, you just need to choose, for example, English, and then you start playing. Before anything, kids have to watch a 4-minute drama video. This is what we played in the beginning of the conference. Watch it.
You know Muhammad Salah is playing here next week? Really? You're talking about tickets? Yes, please.
How to
See, he slept and he's now seeing this dream.
Stop, don't go. Don't believe the notes. They are fabricated. They are written by a human. There is no scientific proof that you are a medic. How can you know he is really injured? There is no scientific proof. Maybe he is just pretending. And the tools in this bag are not enough. How can you know that they are sufficient? There is no scientific proof. And what if you don't get paid after the match?
Okay, then who am I then?
You are anyone.
If I'm not a medic, then who am I?
Don't worry about that.
Tell me, who am I? What are my tasks? Why am I here? Why am I wearing these clothes?
Just relax and enjoy your life.
What is the bag in my hand?
Maybe it was here by coincidence, by chance.
So what will happen to me when the match is over?
When the match is over, there will be nothing.
Ahmed, why are you confused? Why are you hesitating? Go do your job.
Okay, I'll do my job.
Good. Did you see that?
I can see.
This is a video which the kids watch in the beginning, and then they start playing, and after every level, they watch Ahmed explaining to them his dream. Ahmed, in the dream, saw himself wearing a strange uniform in a stadium, and he's not playing with the players, nor is he watching the match with the audience. And he's having a very strange green bag in his hand. So he got very confused. Only when he found a text, he started to understand. His job is a medic. And his tasks or the job description is to tend to any injured player or referee or anyone among the audience. And his tools in the bag are enough for him to do that. Medical scissors and bandages and things that they need in a first aid bag. And the compensation is 2,000 pounds and a signed ball signed by the players that he gets after the match. Now the confusion is gone. Why? Because he read a text that explains to him his job and his job description and told him that he has enough tools and told him what he can expect and when to expect it. That's exactly us on this earth. People are confused because they don't know the purpose of their life. What do they work? What is our position? Medic? No. Khalifa. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. So the kids watch Ahmed explaining these concepts to them in the next videos during the match, during the game. And what are the tasks of the Khalifa? What is the job description? 4 things. Number 1, al-ibadah, worship. Ibadah in itself is a misconception too, by the way. Many kids don't understand. What does it mean? Why does God create people to worship Him? Does God need worship? So He explained to them very logically what ibadah is. Because ibadah is not just obedience, it's obedience with love. There's a difference between abid and ibad. We are abid in anything that we don't choose, anything that we don't have a choice about, but things that you can choose to do or not, you are ibad. Allah prohibited coercion. Allah prohibited, He said, there is no compulsion in religion. Why? Because He wants you to worship Him or to obey Him with love, willingly. Ahmed explains this to them. And then i'marul ard, developing the earth. And all of these, he brings to them ayat from the Quran, and he reads it in Arabic, even in the English episodes, and then he explains it in English. So also Ahmed himself is inspiring for the kids, because they see a Muslim kid who speaks English and he can read Arabic perfectly, and he can read Quran perfectly, and so on. And the fourth is to uphold justice. Every one of these has a video for 4 or 5 minutes. And then he explains to them what to expect, which is Rid Allah, that Allah is pleased with you and you go to Jannah when? After the match. You do not expect to be paid during your work. You have to finish your work and then wait and then ask for the payment, but you can't ask for a payment here. Yeah, you may get something here, but you may not also get. You need to understand that. So you hear. So Ahmed explains to them the concept of life itself, the concept of this dunya, and the concept of akhirah itself. This in itself is enough to remove a lot of the confusion that causes atheism. A lot of the confusion. And by the way, there is other also like root causes, like Islam being oppressive for women, Islam being oppressive for homosexuals, Islam being... all of this is dealt with in this game without without even mentioning anything about sexuality at all. Because when they say Islam oppresses, for example, homosexuals, no, you dealt with it when you have established in the heart and mind of the child that Islam does not oppress. Islam brought you here to fight oppression. This is in a video, a whole video about that. And 4 questions that he cannot continue playing until he answers the question. Among the questions is, if you find someone oppressing someone else in the street, you have 3 choices. I will watch him oppressing him. That's the wrong answer, and if he answers this, he's not going to continue the game. He has to put wrong. And if he doesn't put wrong, he is not going to continue the game. Second, I will oppress him with him. Also, he has to put wrong. The only answer that will make him continue playing is, I will stop his oppression. So like that, if he plays this once and twice and thrice, after 10 years, if he meets a donkey somewhere in a university who tells him Islam oppressed women or Islam oppressed homosexuals, the word Islam oppressed is not going to pass. It's an oxymoron. It became an oxymoron through this game. Understand? So that's why I'm telling you, it was produced by child psychiatrists who know what they were doing here. Anyway, so this is one of the games. And then we got feedback that some kids who are like real gamers found that the game is too easy, the shootout, the penalty shootout. So we made another game called After the Match 2 on mobiles, which all of you can download now, by the way. It's called After the Match 2, and it's actually a car racing. You tell us, but that's unethical to make a car racing game. True, it's unethical. That's why the kid cannot speed unless he is driving an ambulance and turning on the siren, and he is having a patient. And the patients are 15 very famous players. After the match, this player falls down. Muhammad Salah is one of them. Ronaldinho, I don't remember the Messi. And the kid is actually driving his ambulance, putting the siren on, getting the player to the hospital on time. Like that is ethical, alhamdulillah. Anyway, but the game like that became more maybe interesting for kids who are more into games and stuff. But it's based on the same episodes and the same videos. And then we made another game called Save the Turtles. Save the Turtles is actually a game that establishes the fact that there must be a creator, and anything else is insanity. Insanity. And you will see, even the kids, Ahmed and Yusuf this time are appearing in the beautiful videos. They are sometimes very sarcastic about people who say that maybe this world came by chance or without a creator. So you see them laughing, sarcastic, some sarcasm. Why? We're not teaching kids to be sarcastic, but because sarcasm is one of the root causes of atheism. When they listen to atheists being sarcastic about religions or people, kids, when they're growing up and in their adolescence, they don't want to be a part of a group that people are making mock of, people are mocking. And Prophet Nuh said, إن تسخروا منا فإنا نسخر منكم كما تسخرون. So one of the ways of dealing against sarcasm is to be sarcastic of those who are sarcastic of you. So you see a tone of sarcasm, a very fine tone of sarcasm. I'm telling you, that's why child psychiatrists really, really did a good job in these games. And Save the Turtles is an incredible game, actually. It cost us $75,000, by the way, to make it. And it's a very good game. 15 episodes or 16 episodes, proving the existence of God logically and dealing with root causes like the atheist teacher. We had cases back in Egypt in the German school in which they had a German teacher who came and made the kids love chemistry. After all the kids hated chemistry, they became in love with chemistry because of that teacher. So the kids loved that teacher. And when they approached him and asked him, "Are you Christian or Jew?" He said, "I believe in science." And that was so damaging for the kids. So many kids started to say, "Okay, I don't have to belong to an organized religion and just to believe in science, that this can be a religion," because they admired that teacher. So we have a video actually among in Save the Turtles in which Yusuf asks Ahmed, our chemistry teacher whom we love so much and he made us understand and love chemistry, spoke about soccer yesterday in a way that made us all laugh. He mentioned names of players who retired a long time ago. He mentioned teams that are not even in the first league. We couldn't believe it. Ahmed said, "What topic is he teaching?" He said, "Chemistry." Okay. A chemistry teacher, you only take from him information about chemistry. But if he speaks about soccer or religion, not necessarily that he would be right. When you want to ask some legal information about legal issues, do you go to a doctor or an engineer? I go to a lawyer. I said, exactly. You need to go to the specialist always. So if your teacher speaks about, if your chemistry teacher speaks about religion or football or whatever, don't take what he says for granted. So we kept the respect of the teacher in the hearts and minds of the kids, but at the same time, we taught the kids that as soon as your teacher goes off topic, he can be like this table. And this is important for our kids. If you want to protect them in the wake of the new environment in this world today, they need to be critical. They need to criticize everything said to them, everywhere, from everyone. I'm telling you. Lately, I was speaking in Toronto to a kid, and I told him, so they speak to you about this and about that in school now? He said, yes. I said, do you know why? No. He said, did they charge you money for that? I said, no. But you know what? There's nothing for free. If they give you something like that for free, you need to know that you are the merchandise. You are being sold to someone. So be careful. We need to do that. We need our kids to be critical against what is told to them. Anyway, so that's Save the Turtles. Right now, so like that, with Save the Turtles, we established the idea of that there must be a creator. With after the match, we have dealt with the biggest, actually, root causes of atheism, but we did not prove that Islam is the right religion yet. That's the new game. The rescue of two princesses, which we have been working on since 10 months now. And maybe we just need like a couple of months, and we were released, inshallah, in which Ahmed and Yusuf, a Malik يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا, will confiscate their ship. Because here in Save the Turtles, they are actually on a boat. Windows-based, subhanAllah. First time, and I have to do a lot of istighfar today for dealing with Windows. Alhamdulillah. May Allah forgive me. You can eat pork if you're starving and gonna die. You can still use Windows-based. I hope he's not offended, the owner of this. I'm not racist against Windows-based people. We're all brothers, alhamdulillah. And on Judgment Day, they're not going to ask you if you're using Windows-based or Apple. So just a privilege in this life to have an Apple, of course. Okay. How can I turn off this? Okay. How can I turn? It's not. It's because it's okay. Okay, I will. How can I get the? Alhamdulillah. Okay, where is the screen? Yeah. This one, huh? Okay. Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you very much. Here. Okay. This is just a second. It's explaining to us this. Okay. And you just keep collecting these plastic bags. See, every time you take a plastic bag, you are saving a turtle. Because kids have to understand that saving turtles and not using plastic is Islamically encouraged. And I don't know how come Muslims are still using plastic. Turtles are what, guys? Dabba, like the dog that the lady rescued and then she went to paradise because of that, right? Like the cat whom a lady killed by locking up and then she went to hellfire. Turtles are also our responsibility. These things should not be championed by non-Muslims. Should be championed by Muslims. But sometimes we take from Islam only, like we take it superficially, and I like that. So, see, I am trying to rescue as many turtles as I can, and here 119 points. And then you know what will happen after this fuel finishes. I will have to go and refuel and then watch a video and then the questions. Here in this game, we avoided one of the things, the shortcomings of the game before, which is some kids were just answering haphazardly because they want to move to the next level. They can't do that here. Why? Because this time they have to watch. Watching the video became a part of the game, and answering the questions attentively and carefully is a part of the game. Why? Because if I answer the first question right from the first trial, these 165 points will become doubled, 330. And then the next question, if I answer it right from the first trial, the 330 will become 660. And they keep doubling, doubling, doubling every time they answer any question from the first time. So kids are not going to answer haphazardly this time. Okay? And in rescue, the princesses will be. So what we did is protection is much more better than waiting until a kid comes and says, I don't believe in God. Why? Wait. And also, what you need to do to know also is that, especially the first game, which is dealing with philosophical root causes, you need to watch this yourself. Parents and teachers in schools, they need to watch this, which is Protection from Atheism, a workshop for parents and teachers. Kids know nothing about atheism. These are just games. And the word atheism doesn't exist in these games. But you have to watch Protection from Atheism. It's in Arabic and in English. And in it, you will find me explaining to you every single video in the first game and what it is dealing with. You need to know what exactly is it trying to do in the mind of your child, so that you can be on the same bandwidth with us, and so that you can avoid the wrong things that you were doing before. Believe me, a lot of these things are mistakes done by us. We are the ones who told our children that you want to live happily without problems in your life? Pray on time and memorize the Quran. So kids memorize Quran and they pray on time, and still there are big problems in their life. So they feel like, and the Quran is not working, or Salah is not working. No, it's dad and mom who told you something wrong. Ahmed dealt with this and told him, there is nothing like a life without problems. There is nothing like that. Life without problems is in paradise. Ahmed is telling them this. We came here to the place of problems. We came here to face problems, and then our test is how to deal with these problems with patience and wisdom or not. If you deal with the problems in your life with patience and wisdom, then you pass the test, and then you go to paradise to enjoy the life without problems. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to make a dua. Allahumma arzuqni min al-yaqini ما تهون به علي مصائب الدنيا. Oh Allah, grant me strong yaqeen, strong conviction that makes the problems and the calamities in this life easy, that eases the calamities. He could have asked a life without calamities. There is nothing as so-called life without calamities. What do you mean life without calamities? So the issue is, we sometimes bring our children in the wrong way. We bring children who are infallible. They don't do mistakes. You know, a child starts walking and then he stumbles. So to distract the child before he cries, say, wait, don't cry, don't cry. Look what I will do. And we hit the carpet. We say, the carpet, bad carpet. It made you stumble and fall. And then the boy starts walking again, and he bumps his head into the table. So in order to distract him, wait, don't look what we'll do. Bad table. The table hits you. So we just make him, and we're raising a child that doesn't do any mistakes. And then when he's 13 or 14, and he is under some stress from school or something, he starts to blame, he wants to blame someone. Who is to blame? He doesn't find anyone, he starts blaming God. And then he starts practicing mesotheism and he doesn't know. That's the problem. Ahmed, in one of these videos, he's telling them, anytime you find yourself in trouble, first thing to do is to think about the wrong you did. Try to find what wrong did you do. If you don't find, try to find something around you. But Allah told us in the Quran what? ما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم ويعفو عن كثير. So the first thing you need to do is to look in yourself. What mistakes did I do? Did I do any mistakes? As simple as that. If we just bring the children like that, they will avoid this root cause later. So there are several root causes. But before I end, please give me one more minute. One of the main reasons is, it is called the dilemma of the missing father syndrome, or the corrupt father syndrome. And this causes two things. It doesn't necessarily has to cause them, but it may cause them and may not. Number one, atheism. Number two, homosexuality. And there is a book by Dr. Paul Vitz, who is maybe one of the biggest psychiatrists in the US, called The Faith of the Fatherless. The Faith of the Fatherless, in which he brought the life of 4 or 5 main names in atheism, the founders of atheism. Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, Karl Marx, what's his name, this guy, Freud, exactly, and Freud, and others, Thomas Hobbes. All of them had problems with their fathers, or their father was missing. For example, Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, his father died when he was 4. And he's famous for his very famous quote, "God died." Paul Vitz said he was not announcing the death of God, he was announcing the death of his own father. And Nietzsche, though he is one of the founders of atheism, he came up with something that is totally against atheism, which is the Übermensch. It means the Superman. He is the one who made the Superman. This is, again, because atheists say we believe only in materialistic things. We don't believe in any, that's why they don't believe in miracles of prophets. But this guy came up with an idea that a man can fly and push mountains. And why? Because he lost his father in the age of 4. Fathers are Superman for their kids in that age. Kid finds his father going in the morning, coming back with money. Dad is a Superman. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what happens outside to get this money. But every day he grows up, he realizes that dad is normal. He's not a Superman. So he lost his dad in the age of 4. He came up with this idea of the Superman, and he said God died. Also Karl Marx. He was from 2 families of rabbis. He should have become a rabbi, actually. And his father, who was a rabbi, accepted Christianity. Why? Not because he believed in the Trinity, just to avoid anti-Semitism. At that time in Europe, Jews were treated like dogs. What did he do? He just became Christian. So he lost his respect in the eyes of his children, especially Jews. When a Jew becomes Christian, it means he took steps backward. Jews don't like at all the polytheism of Christians, which is like believing in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Jews are very close to Muslims in this. So to become a Christian, that was like, so he lost his respect. So you find in those people's, and in Karl Marx's writings, not just atheism, but also hate for clergy. And same with Thomas Hobbes. So why am I saying so? You need to spend quality time with your children to avoid those 2 things I mentioned before. The more quality time you spend. What is quality time? It's a time when you spend with your children playing, not as a father. You're not a father during this time. You don't teach anything. You don't preach anything. You're just a child like them playing. You remember when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was on his knees, crawling, putting his 2 children on his back, and he looks back to them and says, "Ni'mal jamal jamalukum, you have a good camel, huh?" Prophet Muhammad didn't have time to waste. He was the most important, the biggest VIP. The most important person in the history of the world. He doesn't have time to waste. And he was not wasting his time. He was spending quality time. So the quality time is to go down to the mental level of your children of that age and play with them as if you are in their age. Exactly. You can be 2-year-old. You can be 6-year-old, 10-year-old. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-mar'u ala dini khalilih. Every person follows the religion or the way of life of his intimate friend. Be his intimate friend so that he can follow your way of life or your religion, not someone else. I'm telling you, wallahi, I came here mainly to tell you this. Spend as much time as you can with your children, not on your phone. Not on your phone. You will regret it later if you do that. Play with them every day. Play with them. But listen, guys. And those who have missing father, for example, when a woman tells me that, well, my husband died or whatever, and I decided not to get married again and live for my children. I say, no, get married for your children. They need something called the substitute father. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a substitute father of 13 children. The 13 children who are not his own children, but his wife's children. 6 of Sauda, 4 of Salama, 3 of Lady Khadija. Actually, how they looked at him, not like as Guzummuhum, the stepfather who treats them badly. No. His own body language was explained to us by someone. It's a long hadith that I read like 20 years ago or 25 years ago in a book called Subul al-Huda wal-Rashad fi Hadi Khair al-Ibad. And I was stunned. What's that name? The narrator of the hadith is called Hind ibn Abi Hala. And then he says, when Prophet Muhammad used to point at someone, he used to point with the palm of his hand. Not like this, like this. And when he used to talk here and show, and when he is surprised, he used to turn his hand like that when he speaks. And he used to hit with the right hand the palm of his left hand when he speaks. And I said, one moment, who's that man? And what's that strange name? Hind ibn, Hind should be bint. Okay, his father is Abu Hala. So Hind and Hala are boys? Yes. They are the sons of Lady Khadija from one of her previous husbands. She was married twice. One of them she got from him, Hind, and Hala, 2 boys. And another one she got Hind, a girl. And then she married Prophet Muhammad. He was the 3rd husband. For them, they looked up for him as an example. They were like studying his body language, how he speaks. So this is what you need to be. Every even child in the community is your son. You need to be nice to them. So be very careful with that. I will stop here so that we can open the floor for some questions. You need guys to subscribe to this. Okay, our subscription is 40 pounds. But there is a coupon in which you can bring this down to 10 pounds only. It's called Al-Aqsa, A-L space Aqsa, A-Q-S-A. But there is another coupon in which you can waive all the money and it's 0 fee. It is invitation_100%. Okay? We benefit from this money so that we can continue. But we don't care if you subscribe. And I want every child of yours to have his own account with his name, because his name appears when he's playing. Okay? So make an account for every one of your children. If you don't want to pay, don't pay. And don't tell us why. We don't want to know why. But children should not be deprived from this. There's a lot of work that was done in this to find at the end, after 2-3 years, that only like 260,000 kids all over the world are playing. No, that's wrong. This is our responsibility. We have at least 1 billion children. I want to see 1 billion children playing this if we really want to protect them. Wallahi, there's a lot of work done to destroy this religion. Those who want to destroy this religion don't take one day off. So it is your responsibility. Wallahi, Allahumma ballagt, Allahumma fashhad. I will come on Judgment Day and tell, oh Allah, I told every one of them, and I gave them the coupon that waives all the money. You don't have any excuse. Don't tell me, listen, brother, my children don't even ask about religion at all. ما تفتحش عليا فتحة. No. If they don't ask at all, you should worry, by the way. And we want those green kids who have no problem at all, no questions at all, so that now when they are still green, we can put in their hearts and minds whatever we want. Don't bring them to us after they started having questions. Now it's better, okay? From 7 to 17, or even after, more than 17. Alas, I will shut my mouth.
Sure.
I have ADHD, by the way. Did you realize this or not yet?
All right. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah bless the work that you're doing, and do please sign up. So inshallah, we have about 20 minutes for questions, answers. I have one hand up already. I have a hand up there as well. So I want to actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one question from the brothers and one from the sisters. You have a mic with you somewhere? I think the mic is there. Now, if anybody is shy about asking questions, I have my notebook here. I can pass you pen and paper, inshallah, Azza wa Jalla, or if Muhammad has some, that will be good as well. So let me start with Uthman, and I'm going to limit everybody to one question. If we come around again, then you get your chance again, inshallah. So Uthman, go ahead.
Can you come to the microphone? I can't hear you, by the way. I'm half deaf. This ear doesn't hear at all. And they overfed me. You don't need a microphone, but anyway.
I don't need.
I'm just joking with you.
Go, bismillah. I have ADHD too. Come on.
Wallahi.
Didn't get messy.
That's why we can get along together.
It's on? All right. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, jazakallah khair for everything you said. It really hit home. I'm the one who clapped, by the way. So I was very proud to clap also. So Allah barik feek. I also have 2 children, alhamdulillah. And I try to be home as much as humanly possible with them because I think it's extremely, extremely important. I also grew up without a father. I met him 2 years ago, alhamdulillah, for Silat al-Rahim's sake. And what you said really, really, really means a lot. I actually also try to help Muslim men spend more time with their kids. That's what I do, subhanAllah. So, jazakallah khair. First question, well, my only question is, what's the website? That's my only question.
Jazakallah khair. Bridges-foundation.org. Bridges-foundation.org.
Allah barik fik.
Barakallah feek. Thank you, akhi. Akha Uthman, huh? Okay.
Okay, jazakumullah khair. Any of the sisters has a question? Yes, أختي رشا تفضلي.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. جزاكم.
I think you turned it off.
يعني لا, it's not off, but please يعني raise your voice a little bit.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Perfect. Okay. جزاكم الله خير. So my question is, could you please explain or elaborate on the early signs of atheism among children 13 years and up? This is my question.
Okay.
Like, so that the parents, the maybe close friends, would pay attention and start to find solutions early or in an early stage. Jazakallah khairan.
Okay. Well, the root causes are a lot, especially in this age.
Sorry, I'm not asking about the root causes. I'm asking about
what? Signs of atheism?
Early signs of atheism.
Early signs of atheism. Warning signs. It's off. Yeah, probably it's the battery. But I'll tell you, let me tell you this. I think I got what you want. Yeah. The early signs are actually realizing the root causes itself. One of the root causes in this age is not wanting to be a part of this community at all. It's like feeling that this community is a disgrace. Especially, for example, in our Arab countries, when you find children
who never left the country, but they speak English only, and they can't even speak Arabic well. And there are Saudis and Kuwaitis and Egyptians who never even left Egypt. And they're all the time like supporting Real Madrid or Arsenal, and these in their age, we were either Zamalkawi or Ahlawi, like Muslim or Christian in Egypt. Yeah, if you're not Zamalkawi or Ahlawi, you're atheist, But them, they don't even care about the football in Egypt, and they speak English, and this means that they don't want to belong to this community. They don't want its language, its religion, its football, nothing. So sometimes atheism is not for the sake of atheism. Sometimes it's not about religion, it's about detaching themselves from this society whom they see as a very failing one. Okay? There are some signs that can tell you that it's alarming. Okay? And this is what I have in mind now, but the best thing is if you yourself play this game yourself too. You don't have to play the game. You just go to the interactive course where you can watch the video and answer the questions, and attend these lectures which explain to you every video what is it targeting exactly. You will learn a lot, wallahi, from this. And that's the best thing, protection. We just need to put these principles in their minds and hearts. Yes. Yeah, but these are like misconceptions. For example, how come a God burns his own creatures? Again, this is the answer to this is the story of Ahmed. Allah did not create us to burn us. This is a very simplistic way to explain this. Allah created creatures that are unlike any other creatures. Same creatures who can think and decide and take decisions freely. And he said, those who will do good will go to paradise. Those who will do bad or who will disbelieve will go to hellfire. Fine, but he didn't say that he wants to put people in hellfire. The issue is, those who go to hellfire choose to go to hellfire. And Allah doesn't want it. Allah kept sending them books with good men, with prophets, to warn them not to go to hellfire, and still they insisted to go to hellfire. Only one thing you can tell me here. Okay, couldn't he have created all of us good, so that all of us go to paradise? Yes. All of us good like what? Who are all good? Donkeys. Wallahi, donkeys are all good. Not like other animals. Have you ever seen a donkey attacking another animal? Like lions? No, donkeys are good and kind and nice and helpful. But they don't have free will. They're donkeys. If you want God to make you a donkey, then ask him to make you a donkey. God chose for you to be free, to choose freely, and you tell him, no, take my freedom and make me a donkey so that I can go to paradise. This is stupid. God created you free and told you to choose freely. And even, guess what? He's not coercing you. Even his punishment is not immediate. What is the difference between being Abdullah, a slave of God, or Abd for a human being, a slave for a human being? What's the difference? Human beings, being a slave for a human being is attached to distress and depression and sadness because of the similarity of the master and the slave. But the more servitude to Allah, the more relaxed you become and the more calm, because there is no similarity between you and him. You don't feel distressed. Add to this, human being masters, if you don't obey, you get punished immediately. You will be flogged with 50 lashes on your back if you don't obey. It's an immediate punishment. But God's punishment is deferred in another life, right? So actually, it's to motivate you to do good. You can still correct yourself as long as you are still breathing. So no, who told you? You know what? God could have been coercive if he made his punishment like that. If you don't pray, your heart stops and you die. Have you seen this? No. If you break your fast in Ramadan without an excuse, your kidney will fail. Doesn't happen. So God's punishments are not immediate. Right or not? So all what we need to do is to think. For example, one of these here, why Quran is only in Arabic? Okay, that's because you don't do tadabbur for the Quran, so you don't know. The prophets came with miracles to prove their manhaj, their books, that the books are authentic. But the miracle of Islam is its book itself. So the miracle and the manhaj are the same thing. The miracle of Islam is the linguistic miracle of the Quran. In my own opinion, most of the miracle is in something called al-qira'at, the modes of recitation. And if you study the qira'at, you will realize that that's why Allah chose Arabic, because not one language can accept qira'at except the Arabic language. It must be a language that has fatha, dhamma, kasra. Do you have fatha, kasra, dhamma in English? No? Then it can be in English. You see? Even Hebrew that has the dagesh and stuff like that, they just invented it lately. At the time of Moshe ibn Maymun in Andalus. Hebrew originally did not have it. So the Quran could have not even been in Hebrew. So that's the issue. You need to learn. If you learn, wallahi, your biggest enemy is ignorance. But the problem with ignorance is that we never want to admit that we are ignorant because we think that being ignorant is an insult. No, ignorance is not lack of intelligence. Ignorance is lack of information. I have no problem. I'm not embarrassed to say I am the most ignorant person in this room about Hinduism. I don't have a problem saying that. I just need help with this. I need someone to tell me about Hinduism, to deal with this ignorance. So being ignorant is not an insult, but continuing to be an ignorant is an insult. Why is it in Arabic? Go and learn the Quran. Learn the qira'at and you will understand. The last thing, the last thing is 15 minutes. I have an episode about al-ridda. Watch it, inshallah.
Okay, so I'll take a question from the sister's side. How do you address atheism in your adult friends whose upbringing led them to the point of rejecting Allah?
How do you tackle it in your adult friends? Well, introduce their upbringing, then this means that you know their problem. Because I'll tell you something. This is actually atheism, and the other thing is actually a psychological problem. It's a psychological problem. It just needs therapy. And when we dealt with therapy, when we went to therapists to deal with certain things, and this kind of trauma was dealt with, the symptoms have gone. I want to tell you something. One of the reasons that we discovered lately about atheism are actually problems with the thyroid. Wallahi. We had big problems with certain people and we don't know what's wrong. And we keep like answering the questions. They come back again with new questions and they're so angry. And then something happened to them and then they started taking a certain hormone for the thyroid. They changed completely. Subhanallah. Sometimes it can be physical, especially when there's a lot of grudges and anger. And check the thyroid. So everyone has a different story. But at the end, believe me, it's psychological problem. Because to say that this bottle of water came without a company making it is crazy. I must be a psycho to say that. And I just need therapy. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take a question from the brothers then. I think before I take you, this brother had his hand up before.
Yeah, come. Yeah, come. No, I can't hear you. Do you have ADHD as well? No, you don't. You don't look like you have ADHD. You're not Egyptian? mashallah, أحسن ناس. أحسن ناس. It's off.
Okay, it's working now. Cool. So for adult friends that they came from countries like Iraq or Syria or Lebanon or countries who are suffered of probably wars and stuff like that, there are two problems with that. I actually been through that. Is anger against people who did things by the name of Allah, and then we blame Allah for that. And another thing, when we come to this world, we see this freedom and like you can do whatever you want and like the respect of human being or whatever you want to do. So that kind of trick the brain in a way that what we've been through the culture, it is all wrong and we just don't want to be a part of it anymore. So I'm having a trouble with my friends because they actually go through this a lot and they talk about it. So how to deal with this problem?
Well, logically,
thank you.
Logically, you cannot blame the religion for what people who subscribe to it or claim to be subscribing to it, and clearly they are doing everything against it for what they are doing. How come we blame Islam for what Muslims do, or blame Judaism for what Israelis do, or blame Christianity for what the Crusaders did? Same thing. So this is the issue. Does Islam itself say that? If it's Islam, okay, bring me this and let's deal with the Quran and the Sunnah and try to understand what exactly. But don't tell me someone did this and did that. I don't care.
All right, questions from the sister side? You can take one if there is one. Okay. This brother here. Go ahead. By the way, if I'm not answering your questions because possibly it's not on topic and I'm setting them aside. If we're left with any time at the end, they can. Otherwise, we're going to leave them for another occasion, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. ADHD gang 2, by the way.
MashaAllah.
Okay. You told us to question what's told to us. So I'm gonna play my mother-in-law. She's an atheist, and I believe that most of her problems came with anger through her divorce and all that happened. And so every time I talk with her about religion, she has nice answers. She answers back nicely, basically, and makes me question what I told her. And so I'm trying to get to the optimal argument when I talk to her next time. So you said God created us with free choice and all that good stuff, right? We're not donkeys. Why didn't God create us donkeys, good donkeys, but with choice?
No, one moment. You choose between good and evil.
Yes.
Okay, so you have, so you must expect that some will choose good and some will choose evil. If you have free choice between good and evil, then expect that some will choose good and some will choose evil. Okay, so you want God to force you to choose good, then you're not free.
That's a good point.
Yeah. To be totally free, then it's a 50-50 chance.
Basically, why didn't God?
But he helped you a lot. He kept giving you answers. He kept sending you good people. He kept doing this for you.
Okay, so basically, if you're a donkey, you don't have a choice. So
Exactly.
that's counterproductive. I see. Thank you.
It says, Fadel, it says, when did atheism become a thing? I suppose they're referring to the beginning of your speech where you said, we look in the scripture, it wasn't actually a thing. So
Yeah.
when did it become a thing?
Yeah, that's true. I believe with the rise of the materialistic way of thinking after the era of enlightenment in Europe. They call it enlightenment. It wasn't enlightenment, actually. It appeared, I think, in the 17th and 18th century with the French Revolution and stuff like that. It started to appear because actually they revolted against the king, but did not only revolt against tyranny and the king, they revolted against all thawabit, everything constant, including religion, especially that religion was involved in supporting tyrants in Europe. So that's the problem. That's the problem. But if you look at Islam, it's a completely opposite to these religions. Islam encourages people to uphold justice and not to accept injustice and to remove the tyrant. And don't believe those people who tell you that mudaharat are haram. Protests are haram. Protests are a sunnah, by the way. You read the seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there was a protest, 2 lines, one led by Hamza and one led by Umar ibn al-Khattab in Mecca. Sit-ins are a sunnah. Sit-in, i'tisam is sunnah. Someone came to the Prophet and told him, "Oh Prophet of Allah, my neighbor is doing me a lot of hassle, and he is actually oppressing me, and he is doing a lot of harm for me. What can I do? I'm fed up." He said, "Take all your furniture and sit in the street. Sit in there. Everyone passing, tell him what he's doing to you." People kept calling him names, cursing him, until he told them, "Listen, please, get into your house. I'm not going to do anything to you again." Sit in. That was a sit in. No, Islam does not accept. Islam is the one who told, Prophet Muhammad is the one who told us, if one day you see my ummah afraid of telling a tyrant that he is a tyrant, then there is no hope for them. What do tyrants do? Tyrants kill. And the Prophet is still encouraging you to go and face the tyrants and tell them you are tyrants even if you lose your life. You're going to die one day. Anyway, you're going to die. Die with dignity. Die on your feet, not on your knees. That's what Islam is. So no, Islam is completely opposite to Christianity when it comes to supporting tyrants and stuff like that. Opposite. So it should have not been looked at like that. No. And one more moment. To see this, who accepted Islam in the beginning? Young people. And who rejected it? Older people. Old people rejected Islam because it was a revolution against traditions that meant nothing, meant nonsense. Any tradition that is against Islam, Islam tells you remove it. So it was accepted by teenagers. Actually, most of the Sahaba are teenagers.
It's on off again. Okay. The question is, how does sarcasm lead to atheism? Wouldn't that make the entire UK atheist?
Yes. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you, people growing up in the age of 13, 14, who are like, the kids in this adolescence period of their life, they don't like to be made fun of. Actually, the boy starts talking like that because he wants you to think that he's a grown-up and that he reached puberty. And something. He doesn't want people to make fun of him. So when they see people making fun of Muslims, they feel like, no, they don't want to be among a group that is made fun of. So they feel like they want to detach themselves from this group. They start saying, "What's your name?" Mo. It's Mo. And Sammy said, he doesn't want to be known that he's Muslim. And if of his friends, "Are you Muslim?" He doesn't want to say yes. He is ashamed. So you need to grow in him that he should be proud of being Muslim. The biggest gift in this life is because you're a Muslim. You were born Muslim or you became Muslim. Why? because Allah created in this life different creatures, non-living objects like the rocks and sand and the earth and water, and then a higher rank creature, which is plants. And a higher rank creature than plants, animals. And a higher rank creature than animals, human beings. And Allah made the system like that. Every creature is in the service of higher rank creatures, not the opposite. So water and soil serve plants, and serve animals, and serve us, right? How? Plants serve animals, don't serve water and soil, and serve us, right? We just ate salad. And animals serve us. We drink the milk of the animals, eat the meat of the animals, we ride on the animals, and we eat animals, and we serve who? We are the servants of Allah, only if you're Muslim. You are on the top of the pyramid of creation only if you are Muslim. But if you are to worship another human being, God forbid, you have to go one rank down. You're going to worship a human being, so you'll be in the rank of animals. If you are to worship an animal, like a cow, for example, I have to go 2 ranks down to worship an animal. Only Islam puts you in your real rank on the top of the pyramid of creation. So when you explain this to kids in that age, they become very proud of being Muslim. When someone asks, are you a Muslim? Yeah. Would you like me to tell you why? Would you like to tell me what Islam made to me? So make the kids proud of being Muslim. Yeah, I know that they see our countries very undeveloped and stuff. Tell them that we were the pioneers of all sciences, and that only our countries back in the Middle East had where the streets that are lit with lamps at the time when Europe was in darkness, because we were close to our religion at that time. But when we became very superficial in dealing with our religion, decline happened. So relate this, tell them the truth about our history. So the kids have to be very proud of the history of Islam. You know, 1001 Islamic innovation, you know this? Yeah, you must teach them this. Show them the history of Muslims and Muslim scholars and Muslim scientists in all branches of science. They must be proud. This is one of the reasons why some kids leave Islam in a very early age. Yeah.
Okay, Jazakumullah khair. So it's Isha time. 2 more quick comments here. There are a couple of questions regarding people who would like to reach you offline. If
Director
number or email.
Director at bridges-foundation.org. You know our website, bridges-foundation.org. Just put director at and send me an email.
Inshallah. So that's that. And then there are a couple of questions actually on the topic of the LGBTQ. You know, this is a completely different seminar and different topic. But if I may suggest, go to Yaqeen Institute. They had recently a very, very profound presentation on this topic. It may give you some hints, inshallah, and answer some of your questions. And finally, I will let you close, inshallah, for the evening.
Jazakumullah khairan and barakallahu fikum. I have nothing to say about that, but still, if you want to consult me about this, because I've been giving I've been serving the community of same-sex attracted Muslims, because you need to differentiate between same-sex attraction and practicing it. Yeah, 1.6% of people can have same-sex attraction, but it's dealt with very easily. But the issue is, not very easy, but it's dealt with. It's dealt with. And the issue is, you can still drop me an email if you want.
Okay.
I was speaking about the root causes of atheism and how we developed games that can avoid that these root causes affect the person in later stages of life if he plays these games in childhood, because they will be engraving in his heart and mind certain principles that act like the vaccine against these root causes. And I displayed to them a little bit of them.
Okay, so bridges-foundation.org, bridges-foundation.org. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك، نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. So tomorrow 7 p.m. at Abrar School on Grennan, 9 p.m. at SNMC. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم.
Yeah, tomorrow bring the kids to the youth and modernity thing. Bring your kids there. عايزين نعمل لوج اوت من عندك هنا. بتعمل لوج اوت ازاي؟ يا عم ما بلعبوش، انتوا اللي بتلعبوا يا عم، انت فاكرني عادي يا عم بلعب. بيعمل لوج اوت اهو، لوج اوت اهو، لوج اوت اهو، عشان الراجل ما ياكلش ما ياكل وش.
الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله، أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استووا فإن تسوية الصفوف من تمام الصلاة. Straighten the rows, fill in the gaps, and stand shoulder to shoulder. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين